Settle on the type of person you want to be and stick to it, whether alone or in company. Welcome back to the series. We are going to spin the wheel of orange blocks to see which block we are going to have to build with today. What's it going to be? Oh boy. That's kind of rough. Those are so hard to get. It's okay. We're going to be able to do it. So something about me is I love bees. I don't know why. It's kind of goofy. I just like the whole aesthetic is awesome. Anyway, we're going to need some bees to get honeycomb, obviously. I've done it a little bit before, but nothing near the scale that we're about to do, so I'm a little worried. I think we have to start with a farm. And as I'm getting the farm going, I felt like I should start each of these videos with kind of a quote of the day, if you will. And so moving forward, I'm going to try to find a quote that kind of sums up kind of the idea of the discussion that we're going to have as we, obviously we're going to play Minecraft, but also today I want to talk a little bit about finding oneself. One thing that I believe is that a pursuit that should take high priority in our lives is the pursuit to find ourselves. Once you find yourself, everything else has meaning. It has purpose. And the beautiful thing about finding yourself is that you continue to build upon that knowledge throughout your life. As we live and we grow, not only do we learn more about ourselves, which is cool, I will admit, but we also become better at being ourselves. That's kind of a cool thought. Like, I am myself, but I'm not good at being myself yet, or as good as I can be, if that makes sense. And then there's this weird, chicken and egg thing that I've found in my own life, that in order for me to be better at being myself, I have to answer the question of who am I? But I can't fully answer that question unless I try to better myself, if that makes sense. So one comes first or the other. I don't know, it's strange. This is all of the honeycomb we've made so far. We're going to need a lot more. A lot more. But anyway, back to it. That's what the farm will be for. Am I making any sense? I mean, I guess let me tell you a story. So when I got home from the Caribbean, I was super sick, had some parasites, some crazy social anxiety, which is something that I've never really had my whole life, but I just even going to church or like a family dinner, I was just super nervous and didn't know how to act or what to be like. It was weird. But fast forward to last semester up at college, I took a sales class and it was just I just gotta call people and talk to them. And so I'm talking to people, and the more I'm talking to people, the more that I realize that I'm just the same kind of creature, the same kind of human as all these other people. And so I don't need to feel worried about what I say or what they think, because I'm just a guy talking to another guy, And so there it is. As I improved myself, as I went and did uncomfortable things, I learned more about who I am. My personality kind of came forth a little more, and I even felt more confident and more comfortable with making YouTube videos. If you look back at my channel, I didn't really make a whole lot of Minecraft YouTube videos, even though that's the kind of content on YouTube that I like to watch. I love Minecraft. In high school, I didn't want to be the Minecraft YouTube guy. I thought that would be weird. But once I finally decided to stop caring what other people thought about, I love Minecraft, and I'm having so much fun making these videos. It's a blast, and I've gotten to connect with you guys, multiple of you, and it's been so cool. But none of that would have happened had I not taken ownership for who I am and just owned it. Anyway, speaking of owning it, I think we're going to make an investment. We're going to harvest some honeycomb, and then we're going to make a bee hive. So we have a bee nest, but the beehive is the box that we make. So we need the 3 honeycomb in order to make a beehive. And this is an investment because we're getting rid of some of the honeycomb in order to build a way to get more honeycomb. It's business. I'm a business major. And that is a perfect segue into investing in ourselves. That's one thing that I've noticed is sometimes I just grind and just work and work, but I'd never stop and invest in myself, if that makes sense, to really discover who I am. And that's not fair. I guess I said I never do it, but I try to do it a lot. But I don't nearly do it enough, is what I'm saying. The bees and the honeycomb blocks that will come from building this farm will be a lot more valuable than the 3 honeycomb that we used to make it. Similarly, in our lives, in my life, the time that I spend discovering who I am and I guess doing difficult things and putting myself out there and being a little adventurous, it is so much more valuable than the time I could have spent working. And what comes from that it enhances the time that I spend. For example, I don't know if you've noticed on the channel, but I've really tried to niche down, and I'm still working on it. It's still a little bit of a vague channel, but I'm really trying things that not only you as a viewer would enjoy, but something that would kind of resonate with you, and something that I think is fun and entertaining, but also impactful and meaningful in the same way. Hence the new quote of the days that we're going to be starting. Now, if you've never made a bee farm before, that makes two of us. I've never done this. There he is. Okay, so this bee is attracted to flowers, and as it pollinates, I think he went inside his nest. It works. See, it kind of works. It doesn't catch all of them, but it works. So the dispenser shears the honeycomb whenever the observer notices that there's honey, and then it collects in the hopper. It's pretty cool. We're gonna make 3 more of these, but we're gonna move it, so I don't want it right here because this is hideous, but I'm excited. It works. Back to the philosophical discussion, I want to talk a little bit about what I talked about earlier. How when I started talking to people, I saw them as the same kind of creature that I am. I think we hear a lot that in order to be happy, we need to put other people's needs before our own. I could be wrong, but I don't know if that's entirely true. I think the challenge is to see others as humans, no matter the nature of the relationship. And I think the secret to that is not putting others' needs above our own, but the secret is putting others' needs as our own. For example, this last week I've been super sick, and the temptation came to overexert myself and to go to school and to go to work without me being completely well when I really should be resting. I was afraid that other people would think that I'm slacking or that I'm not doing all that I can in my power. That fear, caused that temptation, those feelings of worry and guilt. Conversely, if someone else was in my shoes, and if I saw someone that was as sick as I was, I would tell them to go home and get some rest. It happens. People get sick, and you got to take care of your health. So then the question arises, if I were to show that kind of mercy or that level of understanding to my peers, then why don't I assume that others would show that same level to me? My own pride and my own judgment was labeling them as judgy, when really they understood and they were completely fine and merciful and reasonable with it. I am feeling a lot better, by the way. But I think the principle lies in kind of what I was talking about earlier, in seeing others and their needs, not greater than or less than our own, but equal to, as our own. And I think that level of equality in our own minds helps us focus less on ourselves and more on others. And as we focus less on ourselves, we don't care if other people judge us, because we're not thinking about what other people think about us. We're thinking about how we can help them and their needs, and how we can address our own needs, but not necessarily how other people feel about me if I stay home sick. I notice that if I'm trying to help for the right reasons, then I help where I can. And where I can't, I don't worry about it. And other people tend to not worry about it either. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not easy. I slip up and I fall into incorrect mindsets all the time, where I'm thinking about myself and what others think about me more than I think about how I can help others all the time. But I do notice that I'm happier and I'm more confident as that equality that I was talking about exists in my mind. One of my best friends has this saying that he said before. He says, if you treat someone like a champion, they're going to be a champion. But if you treat them like an idiot, they're going to be an idiot. And I've seen that firsthand. It's almost magic. And that has to do with, if people feel like they belong, then they'll want to deserve to belong. For example, if I feel helpful, if I feel like my efforts are helping someone, I'm going to keep trying to be helpful. The challenge that I'm wrestling with right now, though, is if I feel like I'm being treated like an idiot or not as capable, then I feel less capable and I'm less inclined to help. I'm less confident. So I got to figure out how to combat that and just ignore it. And I don't know, but I bet the secret lies in not thinking so much about what other people think about me. Anyway, we're almost done with our farms. We're almost ready for all this honey. So much honey. I'm so excited. But before we get to that and we finish, I want to talk about my favorite movie, Ford versus Ferrari. There's a quote that goes, 7,000 RPM. That's where you meet it. You feel it coming. It creeps up on you, close in your ear. Asks you a question. The only question that matters. Who are you? It occurred to me that I had not given my dog a name tag. Bark Anthony. I thought is very funny. But our name is only part of who we are. It's only part of our identity. Identity is important. But our identity is not just who we want to be. It isn't giving in to our temptations or our weaknesses. It's the good that we are and that we try to do today and the good that we can be tomorrow. Part of me wishes I could say I know exactly who I am. I don't. But I can say that I know a lot more about who I am than I did 6 months ago, a year ago, 3 years ago. And everything that I've learned and all that I know has helped me enjoy being myself more. It's actually just more fun to be me. Like we're killing it. I enjoy it. Isn't that right, Bark Anthony? Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it, and it's been kind of introspective. Hopefully not too heavy. My goal on this channel is always to keep it light, keep it fun, to remind you that there's good in the world. Even if it is just silly Minecraft good. But yeah, hopefully the bees will come out of their nests, or their hives. I made 4 of them, if you can see. Oh, do you hear that? There they are. Oh my goodness, look how many there are. So many bees. We're going to build the thing out of honeycomb next video. It'll be pretty awesome. It's going to be a road. Thanks for watching.